My name is Rick Woss. I was an Illinois delegate for the Continental Congress that was held in 2009. 48 of the 50 states got delegates together to form a Continental Congress to try to deal with the constitutional violations of our federal government after we've petitioned for some 15 years on redress of grievances. Ron Teed, raise your hand. Ron Teed was also the Illinois delegate, Pastor Ron Teed, and we sat in for, it went on for about 11 days. I put on this sheet of paper that I handed out, there's a website on page, I think it's the last page where I have some references. You can go to the Continental Congress website, you can read the Articles of Freedom that we came up with, and specifically read the petition for redress of grievance concerning the right to keep and bear arms. Now, since man walked this planet, he has the natural, unalienable right to defend himself. Whether it was throwing a spear at a pterodactyl, or fighting off a lion, or fighting off a Roman soldier, or medieval times fighting off some goofball trying to invade a castle, you have the natural, unalienable right to defend yourself. That right is not just that you can defend your individual person, but you can band together with others to defend yourself and other people's life, liberty, property. For 160 years before this country was formed, we had people coming over from Europe, and even before they were in colonies, they formed together to help defend themselves. They were called militias. The act of militia is actually an act of defending yourself. So for 160 years, the defense of the 13 colonies was the militia. Everybody knew what it was. It was as common as referring to sunshine or rain. There was no confusion. It was etched in stone who the militia was. It was all, at that time, all able-bodied persons. At that time it was all able-bodied males, and they had age restrictions, which I'm going to go into in a second. Leading up to us forming this nation came the Declaration of Independence, where, again, they declared what was already known, is that we are under the laws of nature and nature's God, natural law. That is the only authority to which this country and these states exist. After the Declaration of Independence, we won the war, got together, and the states said, for our better protection, so that we might form a more perfect union for our own benefit, for our own defense, we will get together, all 13 of us, all 13 states, and form a federal government. When that federal government was formed, it called the Constitution of the United States. The militia, on this paper I will be following, I made about 25 copies. Everybody should have one, or couples. If you don't have one, I'm out of copies already, but we'll follow along on page 1. The militia is referenced 6 times in the body of the Constitution. It is not just in the Second Amendment, as many people might believe. The Constitution of the United States, which says it's the supreme law of the land, recognizes 6 permanent institutions: the militia, Congress, the President, the Supreme Court, the states, and the United States. The militia is a permanent institution of our federal system of government. They recognize it not as a federal militia, there's no such thing, as the militia of the several states it's referred to in the Constitution of the United States. Article 1, which we the people wrote the Constitution, we granted to Congress certain powers to provide for calling forth the militia to 1, execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrection, repel invasions. Nobody else is charged with that. The militia is. We're going to get to exactly who the militia is. This is Article 1, Section 8, that was Clause 15, this is Clause 16, to provide, Congress shall provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia. Organizing, arming, disciplining. There's no militia unless we get those three. Arming yourself is not enough. We must be organized. We must be disciplined and armed. And Congress is charged with doing this. They have failed miserably. There is only one place in the entire United States Constitution that uses the word necessary. Only in one place. It says a well-regulated militia is necessary to the security of a free state. You don't have a well-regulated militia, you don't have a free state. Period. That's why it was in there. It wasn't about sporting rifles or hunting or clay shooting. It was about a free state. You want to maintain a free state? You don't just need firearms. You need a well-regulated militia that is organized, armed, and disciplined. Now, in 1818, the Illinois Territory said, well, we'd like to become part of the United States of America because the United States Constitution has provisions for allowing a state into the Union. But it was only under, if you look on page 1, that the people of Illinois Territory having the right of admission into general government as a member of the Union consistent with the Constitution of the United States. You can only enter into this Union if you write a Constitution that is consistent with the one that the federal government has, the United States Constitution. You can't write one that's contrary to it or has different meanings. In the 1818 Constitution, the one that declared us to be a state and formed it and entered us into the Union, took the first 4 articles just to say we have 3 branches of government, just like the federal system, and directly in Article 5, the next one after forming the 3 branches, says the militia. And it says in Article 5 of the 1818 Constitution, the militia of the state of Illinois shall consist of all free male able-bodied persons. Let's talk about that word shall, which is also in the Second Amendment. In law, when the word may is used, the governor may, Congress may do this, the president may do that. It is optional. He can do it or not according to his discretion. When it says in law shall, that means it's obligatory. There's no option. It's their duty. They have to do it.